Hello, 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 everybody. We waiting a couple of seconds. Some of participants connected. Okay. Hello, everybody. Now we start our webinar. And as you know, our topic it's about cutting down on last mile delivery costs. And we will talk about some of success stories and some of cases which include a lot of information, a lot of interesting and useful information. And of course, this case from our practice, our working, and of course, we will tell you about our discussion with client and some of problem which we solved and different story. And of course, let's start. First of all, let me introduce our speakers and our company. First speaker, it's Alex Scher. This is CEO. Hello, Alex. Alex has a lot of experience in logistics and implement a lot of projects and improve a lot of logistics in different spheres of company. Next speaker, it's Maria Kravchenko, Head of Customer Success. Maria, hello. Turn on your speaker phone. And we continue. I am Yuri Bolbuch. I'm Commercial Chief Officer. And today I will be moderator and help my colleagues and help to other persons communicate and read question. By the way, we really like question from our audience. Try to write some of question in chat, and I will translate this question to our speakers, and we'll try to communicate with our audience. Thanks a lot. And about our company, we innovate company, and we are specialized in development and implementation different solution software in different spheres. We have more than 200 employees, and we work in more than 70 countries. And if we talk about our main goal, we improve the entire supply chain, and we have about 10 solutions, for example, in different topic, in different spheres. Of course, we have a lot of customers, and in different software, we have different team. And if you interested in this software, for example, warehouse management or digital distribution, or maybe marketplace, inventory, system of loyalty, please send a message and we will talk about this solution. But today we will discuss about solution which named ABM Rinkai. It's TMS, Transport Management Solution System. And all this webinar, me and my colleagues talk about this topic. As I said, we have a lot of customers, and solution ABM Rinkai every day plan roads, more about 5,000 of roads each day for our clients and our customers. And who is these clients? In general, it's manufacturer and distributors. We have a lot of name, a lot of brands in different countries, and some of them, as I said previously, we will tell 3 cases. By the way, next speaker's Alex. preparing this perform, and we'll show some of cases and we'll tell about details. And of course, it should be interesting and useful. Alex, your turn.
Okay, so I'll share my screen. Just a second. Okay, let's start from actually the questions or the domain that we work with. First of all, we need to conclude what are the problems that our customers want to solve using our solutions. So actually, it could be divided into some three major topics. So first is cutting the costs. So it's all about like optimization, the roads, optimization of number of vehicles, of drivers, and so on, and also optimization of overall process. I mean, not to spend a lot of time or spend just a few logics to plan the roads of delivery. So it's all about the costs. The second option is about the service level. All of your customers. So if you are on competitor market, so you need to be right in time, you need to deliver the exact temperature that you deal with the client. So there are a lot of factors that influence of your service level, of what kind of service you providing to your customers when you're delivering something. Also, it's very, very sensitive for 3PL operators, and because they have some new customers coming and they need to change everything if it's a big customer. So they need to immediately increase the number of roads, vehicles, and so on. And it's always the tough story. So the third thing is about control. So you need to control what exactly your driver is doing. So are they in time go out of the depot? Are they in time on each location? Do they bring you the same mileage that you expect? So all this is about the control, because you can plan very, very efficient routes. But if your driver will not provide this, will execute his own version, so in the end, you will have like poor service level for clients, and you will have like extended costs for delivery. So that's three major points that we covering. And let's try to understand why is it possible. So we have the two samples. For example, we have the areas with 2.5 hundredths points, and we have some zones as they do in usual way. So the logic is divided into some zones and select some amount of vehicles that serves this zone. One zone and another zone. So in our example, it's like two of them. But we need to keep in mind that you have always the fluctuation of order size. So if your client ordered like 100 kilogram and tomorrow it could be like 1 ton, or it could be like 10 kilograms. So it's various. Also, the order could be not frequently. So some clients could skip them, and that's why you have these fluctuations. And the time window, as I already told, you have to manage all these things. In this case, if you have, for example, like a need of 4.5 vehicles for each zone, so in reality, you will have like 10 vehicles that will work to deliver all these 250 points. But what our system do? It's not use this picture as simple. Yeah, it's just get the exact question what roads will be optimized today for exact amount of orders, for exact time windows and so on. So it builds like 9 rows. So you already save like 10%, but that's just a starting point. So if we have like average 100 kilometers per road, so connection between the locations is also optimized according to the road network, and system decrease mileage by 10%. So we get this savings like 10 kilometers per road. From one hand, it's just a kilometers, but from another hand, it also can save us a little bit time of the vehicle, about like 20 minutes, because we have like slow speed always in the cities, you know it. So we have a little bit savings, but it's not enough to decrease number of vehicles that we need to deliver all of this. So we go on forward. The next point is the sequence of visiting the locations. So when you don't have it, you have just a list of locations need to be visited. Every driver decide what it will be, and you need to explain these all things to the warehouse staff, how to load, in what sequence it should be loaded in the vehicle. So if you have it in advance, it helps you to save, for example, like 5 minutes. That's not enough, but it's also some little piece of saving it should be. So it helps us to decrease, to have a little bit more free space of time, but also it's not enough to decrease the number of vehicles. So the next step is the control. So let's question ourselves, what will be if we will take for less than 1 minute on each point. So not to spend like 10 minutes, but if we see, according to the statistics of the visits, that it needs to spend like 9 minutes. So we have these violations that each minute can bring us like 4 hours almost, yeah, for these 250 locations. 1 minute, it's a little bit more than 4 hours. And what we have now, so you can see that the system, using all of these step-by-step improvements, actually now became to deliver it for 8 roles, and we have like already optimized 20%. It is a sample, but it explains how the system works. So we have some little pieces of savings and optimizations in some different points, but totally it brings you the more efficient in overall during all the processes. Also, you get the analysis and all the digital pictures of your delivery that help you to find out what is your other losses. So what is not very efficient locations you're servicing. Maybe you have some vehicles that not fully utilized or something like this. So it also help you to decrease the cost or improve your service. So these two scenarios calls like static or dynamic road planning. And now I'd like to have a little cue, so to ask you, what kind of road planning do you use in your company? So we need to understand what are our auditory. So please use the current selections, the options of the question, and select what is this.
That moment 50-50. Please turn on or off.
The static wins, as always.
I think it's enough time for check.
Actually, it's like a normal picture, because the static scenario is more um, simple to manage. Yeah, it's easy to do because you have just to manage little pieces of your area, and it is easier to divide it into some parts and manage each part separately. So it's about the tools actually. And to get the dynamic routing, you need to have some TMS solution that provide you such an algorithms that could manage it instead of you. Yeah. So let's go on. We need to actually show you what exact results would company achieve using such tools. So it's not about the theory. It's about the real life. First of all, I'd like to start from Kauna Grūdai. It's a Lithuanian company situated in Baltic countries. It have
Alex, sorry, we have also one question about this case, and maybe you implement the information on this question. I have one question. I saw that one of your clients are Kauna Grūdai. Could you tell him which processes Kauna Grūdai are using your product in international forwarding or in Lithuania market to plan distribution routes or for other problem solving?
Okay. Yeah, it's right in time.
Yeah.
So actually, the Kauna Grūdai use our solution for last mile delivery inside Lithuanian country. So it could provide you some more efficient on the last mile. If you check the P&L of all the structure, your logistics, you'll find out that the major cost per kilogram are in last mile. So totally in supply chain, you spend in like 40% for delivering until the last mile. And the last mile contains all other 60% of all the cost per kilogram if you deliver in some goods. So that's our domain that we try to focus on. And we work not on international, but on just last mile delivery, and we do it well. Or we try to do it perfect, but mostly it's really well. So in Kauna Grūdai have 12 different kind of businesses. It's the agriculture company that produced actually not only some food, in as a result as meat products, but they also produce like fresh meat and so on. And we are working on the area when they deliver in some chickens and food from the factory to the warehouses and then to the end customers. As you can see, so all the information about the Kauna Grūdai, so it's like 300 new products yearly. They have like 20 companies that is in this holding in different countries of European Union, and they have about 4,000 employees overall, so it's like a big company. So what was the problems actually that we start with? They already have the TMS solution, but it not built the road exactly. So it was like a framework where the logist planned some manually, and it was not about like mapping. It was about like containing the number of kilograms. Is that enough to utilize all the vehicle and so on? As a result, you have the driver that have a list of locations he need to visit, but he have to know where is it situated, because the only navigation you have is just a printed address. So you don't have any navigation tools like in applications or something like this. There was a problem because you can't rotate the drivers between some areas, so they need to know the locations exactly. and also the problem when you get some new driver. Yeah. It was used a lot of paper documents to manage all the process, and one of the needs that company have to decrease these paper documents because of managing this. It takes resources. You need to print this, you need to hold this, and so it's difficult. And the next steps is the next question they have also is about the analytics. So if you have everything in printed format, so you can't build some reports in online mode, and mostly it's like you have the human factor. Yeah, and somebody inserts some information in some tabs, and then you try to build some analytics based on this, but that's not always the truth. So what we did, first of all, we simplified all the project to some 3 simple steps. So for the first step, we check all the processes and figure out what the problems they have and what the goals they need. We find out that there was no geocodes for the location. So it's very important for any TMS if you try to manage the roles. We find that there was no time windows specified in some accounting system. We fill this and help them to fill it and check and validate all this information. Then we create the digital document as a road sheet and upload it to accounting system as it should be, like in best practices, and install our application for the drivers so they can use it like navigation, not to fantasize what should be the road. And then we start to track what was the statistics of visiting the locations to optimize the time, as you show on our example, to achieve some best results that we can help. Also, it was very important for like fresh meat, because if you arrive in early in the morning, right in time, so you have the more time to sell these goods, and you are the better supplier than some of your competitors. So it was about the control and service level. So what was the results of all these actions? I'm simplifying this, but the process takes few months. So as a result, what do they receive? So they have automated road planning for several depots that use our system in different areas of business, but they are like a standard one. Now they have like less than 3% of late visits to their customers. We should take in account that they have short time windows, mostly in the morning. So that's a good result. The drivers receive this digital road sheets and navigation tools. On the same time, the company received the analytics model, and they get some very important solutions according to some situations, what to do with certain clients or drivers and etc. And they now managing all the process based on this information. It updates in like online mode, so it's very useful. You know, right in time what's going on now with your logistics. The second thing, in like numbers, they have increasing the vehicle utilization by 10%. So it was like 72%, 73% of vehicle utilization on the start, and then we received more than 80% in the end. So it's a lot, yeah. And in the same time, you have to keep in mind all these time windows and all these constraints. And the final point, but I suppose it's the most important. They they stabilize the process of road planning, executing, and control. So now it's like typical process. It's structured and put into some digital tools that manage all these things, and it helps to do it very fast and very accurate. So let's switch to another example. It's like another area, like retail chain stores, Metro Cash and Carry. I suppose most of you know this company. So they have been used our company in 4 countries: is Czech Republic, Slovakia, Poland, and Ukraine. So they have some mixed fleets, so they have their own vehicles and hired vehicles. And what was the problem they have there? So they try to push the segment of delivering some goods for the customers. That was offices, hotels, restaurants, etc., some small businesses, and it was like perfect segment to raise up the money, because a lot of competitors that works in retail do not provide such services. So they try to be the major player on this market, and for this they need to have some very efficient tools to provide the service level first of all. So what they have, as they invest the money, the segment grows up about like 20% per year. And if you have some simple task on the first year, so it become more and more complicated in each next year, and they receive some point where they can't manage already set it up standards of service level, so they have to find something that will help them. So that was the basic needs, to hold on the same service level, but to have some, some room to increase it in next years. So what was the project milestones? So as we understand, the number of delivery increase. So we first of all discuss with them, do they have the option to increase the number of vehicles that will be used in this for this task? They suppose they have the budget to buy it, but actually we calculate and recalculate some previous rules and find out that it's not obviously needed to for most of the stores to increase the number of vehicles, because the existing one is right enough. The second point is they need to have like timing and control, because that was the point, the major point, to be in time. So they have to specify some this time tracking. So what's going on unloading, what's going on while executing the route. In this case, we have discussion, and they actually start the project to change the process of picking on the stores to decrease the amount of time they need for this process, because in this case it is enough vehicles. So for most vehicles they don't have the GPS, so we negotiate that they will add this GPS for all the vehicles to manage like in typical way for all the fleet. And we specify some dashboards to control and manage the KPIs they have. So what was the achievements? Actually, they got 13% delivery cost reduced per kilogram, in the same time they decrease the late visits by 80%. So it's dramatically less than it was like in previous period, because when you try to manage it manually, it's very hard to keep in mind all these time windows and so on. At the same time, so if you have like decreasing of costs of your budget, you have increasing of sales like 11% per month. So totally you can calculate that you're spending less when delivering more amount of goods, and at the same time you delivering it quite good, so you're fitting the time windows that your customer expect. So that's the major points that some great solution could provide you, but it's not the end, yeah, because the solution itself is just the part. And now before we switch to the customer success that helps, and Marie will explain you what is this and why is it needed, maybe we have some questions.
Yeah, we have some question from our participant. The first question. I'm quite curious on the analytics you provide for all the proposed optimization, and how exactly do you report them in your applications? Before your answers, I tell you our audience that we plan present shortly some of functionality our solution, and maybe after that is this question will be more open mind, or I don't know how to say about it. It's more visual. It will be more visual. And also we have question, how long does it take to learn the system?
Okay, so the first question about the analytics, actually we have the preset model of like eight reports contained in one analytical model that displays you different perspective of your delivery process. It's like from logistics part, so it's all about like being starting time. It's all about the mileage planned versus actual and so on. The second part is about the client service. So are you in time? Are you in exact temperature regime? And so on. It's accumulated based on the GPS. So it like automatically, without any human factor, accumulating, calculating, and aggregated. The next thing is like geography, so you can explore your territory. So where is your client situated? What are the exact KPIs you have, like price per kilogram for delivery, like being late and so on, based on geography. So you can select it on the map, right? Just using the mouse, you can select some specific area, just turn it around, and you will see exact picture what's going on there. The other thing is like the costs. So you can manage the cost per kilogram. You can divide it into some segments, your customers, and you have the ability to view some core drivers that push your cost up or down. So you have the major factor in some like segment of your customers, in some your depots or your distribution centers. So you can check the cost in different perspective. Then next that we have in analytics, it's like the ratings. So the ratings of the drivers and ratings of your depots. Yeah, we have different parameters that calculate who of the drivers are better and who is the worker. What are about the departments or depots, how it works, yeah, and you have like options to compare them one with each other. Also, we have some reportings about some late visits or some unplanned stops. It's very useful time to time. So actually, it's all you have right from the box. But the major point that I want to highlight is that if you need, we can update all these reports according to your standards. So, for example, if you have some different logic to how to calculate some certain KPIs, we can add it and manage it according to your company needs.
Okay.
So, and
Alex, we have also short time and one question, even two. Do you integrate Bidfood stores, maybe I'm not correct, in your transport optimizations? And how do you reconcile multiple pickup points for one retailer? Maybe you reread this question in chat.
Just a second. The Bidfood stores. I'm not sure that I understand what's the Bidfood stores.
Pick up, drop off.
But I can explain that our algorithm is fit to like a single start point. Yeah, sometimes we can manage like a few loading points on the same depot, but it's not the best scenario. So it's optimized and very efficient in this kind of routing. So that's why we not use these multiple pickup points for retailers. So mostly we work with distribution center that supplies all the stores. And if you have like overstock, so you're just not moving it between the shops, you get this overstock and move to your distribution center. Then you recalculate it and distribute where it needs. So that's the best practice of managing supply chain, like in stock.
Okay, thanks, Alex.
We have spent skip one question: how long it takes to learn the system? Actually, it's for learning it needs less than a month, but we have like video manual and we have our support to enhance the speed of learning. So you need actually to spend like a couple of weeks, from couple of weeks to 1 month.
Yeah, Alex, thank you very much. And later you can show some of instrument visual. And we are moving. And Maria, next, go on, please.
Hello, everyone. Today, I would like to tell you about such tool of our product as customer success. What is it and what role it plays for business? First of all, customer success is live tool that helps the client to use the system capabilities to the maximum. And as I like to say, that it is some buffer between customer and our development team. So you always will be heard and to occur with any problems will minimalized. When you're using any software system, including TMS, it is very important that after implementation, the customer becomes responsible to our customer success managers, who provides consultations, gives some advice, and solve any issues that you has. Also, he makes sure that you achieve your goals. It can be global goals for the company, as success after implementation, or individual goals for end users that they can work more efficiently and develop themselves. To keep abreast, we always try to keep abreast with our customers. So we have developed a monthly monitoring system. 1 minute. And the manager receives it automatically every month and can see how works each branch separately in a month. Why it is a very useful tool? Because it's valid this in that our manager quickly notices problems and the clients instantly receive a solution. The logistician directors and the team don't need to come up with a solution on their own. They get it from our customer success manager, who already has many years of experience. And this increases quality and speed of decision made and effect to overall results for the company. This monthly monitoring system helps to compile long-term customer statistic live in our system. So now I will explain how we conduct this report. Every day, logisticians make a plan in our system. So we choose any plan with average number of points to visit and average number of vehicles. Then we reschedule this plan, but making some system settings that can be missed by users. So this plan will be more efficiently that it can be. And after that, you can see this report. The first list of it, you can see branch by branch retrospective diagram and the depot that has the biggest difference marked in red. This difference is in cost and in number of vehicles. And of the left of the diagram, you could see the total savings in such units as cost, as kilometers, and vehicles. Why can be this difference? Because the logisticians can make some violation in this plan and can miss its some settings. So to achieve this goal, we give some list of recommendations and some additional settings that can be do. And before we go to the real case, I want to ask you one question. IS software vendors provide this service like customer success managers to you. It's not only client support.
Mm-hmm. 50-50? Again, 50-50? No, more no. Okay. Thank you very much for your participant.
It's almost 50-50, but not. Okay, and now I will say why it can be useful. Why can... Oh, one. For example, of real case, I would like to cite you Bidfood company. It is a food service wholesaler and distributor. You can see the report that their manager was received. And to comparison, you can see the report from winter and from now summer. How you can see, the all units in costs, in vehicles is decreased, and it is very good result. What we do after that the client receives this report, we make some calls where we analyzed all of the points of the report and told how to read them correctly. Then we determine an action plan, which branch the most problem and to need to be attention to and turn on earlier. And in these calls, we heard from logistician what the problems they have. For example, a Bidfood company has some specificity with clients that need to be served in the first place. So this is very connected with their quality of service. And when the system was implemented, this goal was achieved by segmentation these clients with narrow and early time windows. But over the time, the amount of such clients stayed more and more, and they need to feed the system for their new needs. And we help with this and connect until the problems wasn't solved and until we heard from the client that it's become easier to work and in general they know how to set it up. So in the result, we had some we and they had some achievements that there was improved the quality of delivery, there was reduction in delivery costs and savings in their fleet. So I think it's a good result, and this tool as a customer success need to be part of every product. From my side, it's all. Thank you for your attention, and I will be glad to answer for your questions.
One question in my private chat. By the way, what do you recommend? What do you recommend? Some of support inside company. As I understand, it's not connected about our support. And maybe some of recommendation for supporting inside company.
Recommendation support inside of the site of the client?
Yeah.
I think that they need to have some support, and we always ready to give support to their support team. And give some advices and solve their issues. It is not a problem. In my experience, we often to connect with, like it say, with third parties.
Maybe it will be the first point of supporting. Yes. Yeah. For example, connected with other employees and collect some of mistakes or some of questions.
With their employees, with their maybe GPS providers.
Okay, thank you. And other question, what is the average return for investments your clients have?
The average is near 10%.
10%. But it's question connects with.
Alex can, yes.
Let me explain. Yeah. So totally, you can pay off all the project with monthly payments like within half a year. So it's normally, sometimes it could be earlier, but in this case, you have to implement the project faster. So like on the 6th month after the start, you mostly get all the payments back.
Alex, thank you very much. And we are moving. And as I remember, we promised to show our solution.
Yeah.
Shortly, because we have not enough time.
Okay, so let me explain the interface of the system. So what we have here, we have an example for Arabian Emirates. We have locations that need to be delivered. All these locations have different weight parameter and different time windows that should be fitted. Also, we have a list of existing vehicles with different capacity and so on. We have the depot capacity. So it means how much vehicle we can use at once on the loading gates or unloading gates. And it also should be counted with how the system works. So when you upload all this data from ERP, you just hit optimize button and that's it. So in this case, you mostly don't need to choose what do you really need. You need some shorter roads, cheaper roads, right in time roads. So for most competitive solutions, you have to optimize one of all these parameters. In our case, you can see the cost per delivery decreasing, and the system find out the best solution that fits all your restrictions about capacity, time, and so on. And it should be optimal from the cost perspective. As we can see, not all of the vehicles we have is used, but all of our unplanned orders already put in the roads. So each road contains the right sequence of stops. So who will be the customers you visit, like in first, secondary, and so on. So you can see we built all the roads, and each of them fit to the time window. So it doesn't matter that they are very tough. So in reality, it's like the demo data, but in the reality, mostly you don't have such of this. But what interesting point we have is you can see this red line. It shows you how much time the vehicle will spend on certain locations. And if you have a lot of kilograms to deliver, system automatically will recalculate that it needs today, it needs more time to unload it on the locations. So it automatically fits the time need to be spent there on your orders. Actually, you can check the view of the roads. We also use a lot of limitations and restrictions, so where it's possible to drive, where it is not. Just a second, I will show you because it's a lot and we don't have it in like bigger scale. So we have these all limitations on the roads, all these restrictions where it is possible to drive the heavy vehicle, the light vehicle, and so on. So you have the road profile for each segment of your fleet. And when you did it, so you are just exporting it to the accounting system, and also you can send the notifications for each of your customers, so on what time the vehicle will be in there. The next step I want to show you that our depot capacity, as you can see, it's already used. So you can understand how much vehicle you need to be loaded and what is the facilities you have like in free. And if we see here, so first part of starting, we have like just a half of open gates, and after it we have all our depot that could be used. So the system use this information to set the queue, what is the vehicle should start loaded first and what's the second and so on. So the next point I'd like to show you is the GPS. Actually, when you already set it up and the driver starts, so you have to control all these things. In here, you have the vehicle, you have like in Gantt chart, all these locations that should be visited. So each block is a certain client with certain weight and so on. And if it's colors in green, so it's okay. If it colors yellow, you are late. Yeah, here we have like vehicle without GPS, so you can't get the GPS data. Also, you have like analysis chart that show you some difference in mileage, in time at customer, at start point, was it right in time or not, some stops that was unplanned, and so on. So there is a lot of information you can see in online mode. So actually we can check it for at any moment of processing the roles. So also, just show you, you can check actually what was the original road and what was the driver's idea how to do it better. In here, we can see that the system plans 234 kilometers and the drivers brings you 262 kilometers. So it's like 30 kilometers more than it should be done. So that's the point that we are fighting for. And by the way, while Marie explaining her part, I Google about all this Pudo store. So it's like it looks like this, yeah. And you have the situations when you need to get some amount of orders on some locations and put some amount of maybe your boxes and so on the same location. So it is enabled in our system, so you can manage two different ways to work with your load. Yeah, it could move from the depot to some locations, and also you can set that some order need to be picked up on some locations and moved to the depot. So it works also in, just a second, it also works in the same algorithm. So you can do it easily in our system as well. I suppose that's the major point. And also we have two different modules with the drivers app and analytics that we have not enough time to show, but we have it. And if you will ask to arrange a meeting, we can show you directly and explain everything you want to know about the system, how it works, and what is the benefits you can get it.
Yeah, we have a lot of online meeting. We shortly discuss problems and solve a lot of questions. And also we can show how this solution can implement in your company and how we can get a result in short term. It's really important things, and we also have a good team for implementation, and we have excellent process which help us to implement all the project, control the project, and have a lot of benefits step by step. And we our philosophy, it's like win-win. When client win, of course, will pay for using our service, and it's excellent partnership with our clients. And I think we will discuss this topic in the future with you, with your company. And some of participants say thank you for very interesting presentation, and I already have to go into another meeting. I know that a lot of us have different meetings, and I would like to thank you and our team preparing this webinar. Check for our news and add to our LinkedIn. Check our website. In China, chat, we have information how to find us. See you later. Thanks for your time. Thanks, Alex. Thanks, Maria.
Thank you too.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.